Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing an updated face routine. I did a face routine a little while back and I have changed a few things around a little, so I wanted to do an updated version for you. We're gonna go through it all today. This is how I put my makeup on pretty much every single day, constantly switching up my routine, switching up the order in which I do things, just trying to find what works the best. And lately I've been finding that doing my eyes first really helps because that way I can use my face as my ground and I'm not gonna mess up all the hard work of my foundation. So if you're looking to maybe switch it up or step up your face routine and you wanna see how I achieve this look, then please keep watching. Oh, I'm scaring myself a little bit right now. I have a completely bare face right now. All I have on is some moisturizer. So I'm going to take you from the top, my new routine. So here we go. The first thing I always do is I prime my eyes, and I've been loving this MAC Painter's Pot in Painterly. It's a great just like skin color. It's got some pigment in it, so it really will like cancel out any redness or any discoloration on your lid, which I always have. I've tried a brush for this and I tend to just prefer my finger, so I just get a little product on there and I just apply it to my lid, most heavily on my lid and crease, and then kind of blend it up to my brow. I go all the way up, but put the least product below my brow. Now using this fluffy eyeshadow brush, I'm gonna grab this light color in my Kat Von D eyeshadow palette and set that color on my lids. It's great because it's close to my skin tone. Really, like any creamy skin tone color will do, but you want matte, definitely a matte shadow for this. And I'm gonna set the entire eye, lid to brow. I kind of use patting and sweeping motions at the same time, like I pat and sweep. So now that primer is all nice and set, this is gonna give us a really great base for our eyeshadow. It's gonna make it last, I just dropped my brush. I think MAC Painter's Pot is like a 15 to 24 hour wear, so it just makes your shadow last like all day. It won't crease, it won't transfer, and it's really good. Priming the eye makes a huge difference. After I prime the eye, I do my eyebrows. I already have a full eyebrow tutorial, but I am gonna kind of go through this, but not in super detail. The first thing I always do with my eyebrows is taking my Anastasia Brow Wiz, I use the spoolie side and I brush them out. Just so all the hairs are going in the same direction. They can go kind of crazy. So then taking the other end of my Anastasia Brow Wiz, this is the medium brown color. I first like to kind of carve out my brow. So I kind of outline around it, get my shape down really well, and then I'm gonna go back and fill it in. Okay, so now that I have my brows carved out and I've defined my arch a little bit more and also added just a little more fullness to my brow, I'm gonna go back and fill it in. I'm gonna be using my Anastasia Dipbrow in medium brown. I absolutely love this product. I always talk about it. I'm going to be using just any angled brow brush will do. This one's from Lab2. I like it because it's a little bit coarser of a bristle, so I feel like I have more control. So I'm just gonna take a teeny tiny bit of product, like a really little amount, and I'm just gonna spread it onto my hand, like kind of smooth it out a little bit so I have a little palette to work from. This is a really pigmented product. If you just dip straight into that jar and slap it on your brow, you're gonna be like, oh my God, it's gonna be like black. It's gonna look like you took a Sharpie to your brow. So you wanna definitely thin it out a little bit and just pick up a little bit of product at a time. And so I'm just gonna start to feather this in. I normally start right about here and work down to the tail, and then I do the front of the brow last because I want as little bit of product on the brush as possible, but I want it lighter here and darkest at the tail. Okay, so now that my brows are all filled in, one of the last things I'm gonna do is just clean them up a little bit underneath and brighten them up a little bit with some concealer. I'm just gonna be using this Glamouflage. Any concealer will do for this. My hand is my palette. So I'm gonna put a little concealer right there. I'm gonna be using this little e.l.f. concealer brush. You want the brightest part to be like right under your arch, so I always start there with my concealer. Now that that concealer is pretty blended out under my eyebrow, I am going to go in with the same color we used to set our eye primer, and I'm just gonna set that concealer. The last step in my eye prep routine is to put a little concealer above my eyebrow, sculpt it out a little further, and blend that concealer out a little bit around the edges so that when I go to put on my foundation, it's easy blending and I don't have to get super close to my eyebrow and avoid messing it up. So now that my concealer is all nice and blended out all the way around my brows, like I went inside and everything, so that way when I go in between my brows with my foundation, I don't have to get right up next to it. This is the entire eye prep routine. This is how I get my eyes ready for my makeup and then ready for the rest of my face. I'm gonna go do my shadow, liner, mascara off camera, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna finish the rest of my face routine. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I just put on a little bit of eyeshadow and some winged liner and put on some lashes. And now I'm gonna go ahead and finish my face routine. The first thing I'm gonna do is put on some primer, and I'm gonna be using my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. It's my little sample I got from Sephora. Focusing on the center area because that's where the pores are most pronounced. And just rub it in. Obviously avoiding the eyebrows. Now you just want to let that set for a second and absorb into your skin. It's time to apply foundation. I'm going to be using my favorite, my Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. This is a pretty full coverage foundation, so it's not for everyone, but I like a nice, flawless finish. So I'm going to take my Morphe M439, which is my absolute favorite way of applying foundation. So I just apply it directly onto the brush, about 2 pumps, and I kind of spread it out like that. And then I just kind of dot it around my face. Once it's dotted all over my face, I'm gonna start blending it in. When I first got this brush, I thought that I needed to like apply in circular motions because it was my first time using a brush, but really you can just kind of swipe it on. Always blend down onto my jaw and into my ears. That way, if the foundation isn't the exact right color, it still diffuses the line a little bit and it's not really noticeable. Now that my foundation's nice and buffed out, the next thing I'm gonna do is concealer. I'm gonna be using my Urban Decay Naked Concealer in the color Fair Neutral. I love this concealer and apparently everybody else does. So yeah, it's really awesome. I'm gonna just put that under my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, a little above my lip, a little on my chin, and some on my forehead right here. Now that my concealer is all laid down, I'm gonna take a damp beauty blender. I'm just gonna start to pat in that concealer. This beauty blender is really great because the pointed edge lets me go right along my cat eye without messing it up. Okay, so that concealer is nice and blended out. So now we need to set it. So up until my drugstore tutorial, I had been using my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I had been using the banana powder to set underneath my eye. But I tried this Fit Me powder in the latest color, Porcelain 110, and I really like this for under the eyes and setting all my concealer. I'm gonna take this e.l.f. blush brush and coat my brush in that powder and just pack that in everywhere that I put my concealer. Now that my concealer's all set, I'm gonna go in and set my foundation where I did not put the concealer. And for that, I'm gonna be using my MAC Studio Fix in the color C3, and I'm just gonna use this fluffy powder brush. Okay, so now that the entire face is set, it's time to contour. So again, I was using my Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette, which I still absolutely love, but I tried out this Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and I love this right now. So also switched up my brush. I was using a Morphe powder brush that I did like, but I grabbed this e.l.f. complexion brush. It's like a super fluffy powder brush, and I like this more. So I'm just gonna dip into that Hoola bronzer, tap off my excess, and then I like to suck in my cheeks like that, and it really like helps show me where to contour. So I also like to take a little and just contour my forehead a tiny bit. And a little bit on my jawline for some more definition. So now for highlight. Lately I've been using this e.l.f. stipple brush for my cheekbone highlight, and I'm gonna use my favorite Mary Lou Luminizer as my highlighter. So I'm just gonna put some on the brush, and I'm going to apply this to my cheekbone, just in between where that highlight and contour meet. And a little bit above my lip on my Cupid's bow. I'm also gonna put a little more highlighter just right above the tip of my nose using this little pencil brush. I'm also gonna pop a little in my tear duct and just below my brow just for a little more shimmer. All right, we're almost there. Last thing I'm gonna do for my actual face is put on blush. I'm gonna be using this Wet n Wild blush in Apricot in the middle. It's just this nice kind of peachy bronzy color. And please pardon all of my dingy cases. It's hairspray. I don't think I'm gonna put any shadow or mascara on my under eye today because I just wanna keep it kind of fresh and bright. I know it's kind of unbalanced, but sometimes I like it that way. But I am gonna put my favorite trusty NYX Jumbo Liner in Milk in my waterline just for some extra brightness. Okay, so now that our whole face is on, it's time to set everything. I'm gonna use my trusty e.l.f. setting spray. Shake it up and then spritz it all over my face. Let that dry and settle in. And because I rarely leave the house without it, I'm just gonna slap some lipstick on really quick. Okay, so lips are on and this makeup is done. So I used my Kat Von D Bow and Arrow liquid lipstick along with my MAC Spice liner, and yeah. Okay guys, so that's it. That's my face routines. So I really hope this video was helpful. I know that there was a while where I was struggling with my face routine and I couldn't figure out how to get my skin tone looking nice and bronze, but at the same time having that brightness under my eyes. So I really hope that this helps you guys take your face routine to the next level. So let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you have any questions or anything, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.